Hey there, welcome to the Hot Slice, the weekly podcast brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. I'm your host, Jeremy White, editor in chief of Pizza Today, joined by the great, the one, the
Great. Okay.
only Miss Denise Greer. Hey, Denise,
These introductions keep getting better and better. They make me sound really good. I'm
you
really
keep
excited
like a
about these
wine, you keep
introductions.
getting better and better.
I do
So,
age like a fine wine. That's right.
that's right. That's right. Hey, we have a lot to
Uh,
talk about today. Well, when do we not have a lot going on?
yeah, we
But we got a lot.
do. But you know what? Look at my hat. So you guys, you're on audio, so you don't know the hat that I have on is from our pizzeria of the year, Jeremy. You got to
Mhm.
tell them about our pizzeria of the year.
Yeah, Camparoso wood-fired pizza in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. We've been doing a pizzeria of the year for about 24 years now. We once
Mhm.
called it Independent of the Year. It's kind of changed its name,
Yep.
but it's the same award. We've been doing this for about 24 years, and it's the first time ever that a pizzeria in the great state of Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, has been
Yeah.
honored. But Camparoso, Fort Mitchell, their story is just it's amazing, as you well know, Denise, because we first wrote about them in 2019, and you
Mhm.
were the person who authored that piece. So you know about them really well. But for our listeners who don't know about them, it's this place is remarkable. And not only is the pizza is outstanding and the food's outstanding and the service is outstanding and all of that, but what really impressed us, what really caught our attention, and what really garnered this award for them is their community involvement, the things they do for their employees and their community, the way they
Yeah.
give back. A lot of pizzerias talk a big game
Yeah.
about community involvement, but maybe they don't fully walk the walk. And this place walks the walk, and it's
Yeah.
really remarkable what they do for their employees and their community and just how much they give to them. And that really blew us away.
Yeah. And can we say that their pizza is
Beautiful.
amazing too? Let's
Mhm.
just throw that out there. And
Absolutely.
they do a couple different styles. And I just love I love everything that they're doing. They just are just on point with their food. The employees, so I'm not going to give anything away to say that when we were there and you were conducting the interview, we watched the entire crew get together to Baldo. Like, I mean, there were 6 or 7 staff members just all gathering. And then they brought these huge vats of dough out to ball. And just watching them get together and they're just laughing and enjoying each other's company while they're balling dough. It's just, it was something really great to see. And then another thing with the employees is they all gathered for a photo. And
Yeah.
that's something that we don't really get a lot of. A lot of times when we go visit pizzerias, we usually get a photo with the owner.
Mhm.
But for all the employees to gather, even the ones that weren't working that day, for them to come and sit in on a photo. I mean, this was a large group. I mean, this was probably close to all of their employees that showed
Mhm.
up uh, to celebrate this honor that they received by showing up for this photo. It's just great. You can see the photo in the feature, so you'll
Yeah.
I'll put the link in the description. So it's great.
Yeah, that was special, Denise, because the staff did not yet know that Camparoso is being named Pizzeria of the Year. The only person who knew, the two owners, Eric and Amy, the husband and wife team
Hmm.
who founded the business and who owned the pizzeria, were the only ones who knew. They weren't
Yeah,
yet able to disclose it to their staff or to the media or
yeah.
to anyone. So they
We
were the
make
only
them make
ones.
it a secret for a couple months.
Yeah, we did. And so what he did was, he said, hey, he sent a message to his staff, to his crew, and said, hey, gang, look, Pizza Today magazine are going to have a couple editors and photographers and designers here for a few hours. they're going to be hanging out with us. They're writing an article about us,
Yeah.
and they're going to take a photo. Um,
Yeah.
if you have the time, if you're off work at the time that they're here, if you have the time to drop by to be in a photo, not required, but I would appreciate it. And
And they showed
it
up.
was amazing, Denise, because they showed up. There were, as you
Yeah.
said, there were maybe 7 to 10 employees who were actually working at the time we were there because we were there before they opened. And
Hmm.
they all turned out. They all showed up to be in this photo. They didn't know that Pizzeria of the Year was in the future or anything like
Yeah.
that. They just knew that Eric said, if you can drop by. We had college
Hmm.
students who were in between classes. We had
Yeah.
people on their lunch break from their other jobs.
Yeah.
And it was amazing that they showed up, and they showed up out of their reverence for Eric and Amy, because these two people who own this restaurant are so compassionate and so giving and so caring, and they truly are an amazing model of how you take care of your staff and of servant leadership. And
Yeah.
their
That's
employees care
really what
about
it
them
is.
that
Servant
much. And it was
leadership.
obvious that their employees, they weren't made to be there. They weren't told to be there. They were there because they care about
Yeah.
the owners, because the owners care about them. And
Yeah.
that was really cool. That was
And
special.
that's really the goal. If you are an employee forward business, is to have that type of energy, that type of response.
Yeah.
It almost gives you goosebumps to think about, like, that they care that much. Like, it's impressive.
It was cool to see. And Denise, as you and I have traveled over the country for the last, decades now, for several years, and visited pizzerias, and we see it all. And we do encounter places here and there where you can just tell the employees are having fun, and they love working there, and they love the ownership team. You can tell, but
Mhm.
we certainly don't encounter that in every pizzeria we walk into, in every restaurant we walk into. And when we
No,
do,
not
it
at
really
all.
stands out.
Yeah, so you'll have to read the feature. It's on pizzatoday.com. I will put it into the description. But it is a story worth reading, and I know that you're going to get something out of it for your business too, because he's just the Amy and Eric just have so much to share.
Yeah, no doubt. And then also, Denise, before we talk about today's guest, I think that we
Yes.
need to talk about our big survey initiative that
Oh, yes.
should be in the inbox of our listeners.
Okay, so, and check that inbox. Okay, so if you're a pizzeria owner or operator, we probably have your email address. And also, if it's not in your inbox, check your spam folder, check your junk folder. It's going to say Pizza Today needs your feedback and input on the pizzeria industry.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you take a look at that survey. Jeremy and I went through and we retooled this survey to be really, really qualitative. So we're trying to get even better information this year,
Yeah.
even better stats, so that we can give you things that you can actually use. Because the whole purpose of this survey is to use it to build a report that you can actually use for your business. So,
Mhm.
a trends report for the pizzeria industry instead of about the pizzeria industry.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
usually see with trends reports. As you see it, it's about the pizzeria industry. We're not doing that. We want something that you can use. So that's what we've honed to do. We've actually shortened the questions, not as many questions this year, so you'll get it done a little faster. But it's definitely a little bit more in depth too.
Yeah.
So
No doubt.
I
Please
will
take
put
the time. It's not going to take long.
no,
It's
no,
going to take
5 to 10 minutes
7, 8 minutes of your time, right? Yeah,
tops.
5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I'll put the link to an article on pizzadata.com. At the bottom, there's a link to the survey. But that'll give you a little bit more information on the survey, why we do it, and then the trends report that we produce after
For
it,
sure.
that'll publish in December. So definitely get that survey done, because we want everybody to be
Yeah.
counted, as they say.
That's right. That's right. And now, Denise,
Absolutely.
move on to our guest today. So this is
Okay,
not
so
a full hour podcast that
I love
our,
it.
our readers have to spend too much time with us.
Okay. So our guest today is going to be Candy Yiu, and she's from the Turning Peel in Portland, Oregon. And the Turning Peel is a newer restaurant. It is one that it developed after the pandemic.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I love about this spot is that she's created like the most amazing vibe of almost any pizzeria I've seen. Like you walk into the restaurant or into the patio and it is just a magical place. And it was designed that way. She made it to be that way. And she put a lot of her own heart and a lot of its stuff that she sourced and drove miles to find. And I love it because it's in a little house, so it just has its own character. So if you're interested in how to develop more of a vibe in your pizzeria, she's got it down. And the food, it looks amazing on the Instagram. So uh yeah, so she's a fun person to talk to. We enjoyed our conversation, and I think we should just jump right in.
Let's bring her on.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Ruby, a fifth generation dairy farmer here in Humboldt County, California. Did you know that 99% of California's dairy farms are family owned? And we're proud to sustainably produce the milk that goes into quality cheeses you use to create your delicious pizzas. Thanks for helping make California not only America's #1 dairy state, but the leading producer of mozzarella too. We hope you enjoy this podcast.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Well, welcome to the show, Candy. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. So, tell us a little bit about the Turning Peel.
There is so much to tell. I don't know where to start. Like Turning Pill is a place where make me really happy because I can do what I like. Um, and and we want to be inclusive to everybody with pets and with kids or romantic dinner or casual dining. I
Yeah,
know some people always say that it's not possible to include everything in one place. But I think we try to include everybody and it just makes most people happy.
absolutely.
Pizza always makes me happy. Why did you get into pizza when you decided to open a restaurant? Myriad choices, myriad foods available. Portland is a great restaurant town, so you could have done any kind of concept in that city and probably been successful. Why pizza?
This is a really hard question. Like for me, a lot of the time I don't really choose to do something. It's funny. It's like
It chooses you.
yeah, it's like I don't have you happen in life that like the star is just aligning
Mhm.
and then the universe is telling you to do something and then you just say, I just have to do it. I think the turning peel is kind of one of those things that like before like during the pandemic, like I was start doing sourdough starter, sourdough bread,
Yeah,
like everybody, like I know everybody
yeah,
like and of course it feel really therapeutic, like just the dough kneading and just feels
yeah.
so good since you can't do it anybody. And I think to start out with like I have so much bread at home and start giving to neighbors. And people
Mhm.
always love to get bread. Like they have the biggest
Oh
smile on
yeah.
their
Yeah,
face. And it doesn't matter good or bad, but like when you receive a loaf of bread, it's symbolic. It symbolizes something, it's love,
Yes.
it's caring,
yeah.
it's soul food. You feel so good. You can put anything on it. Everybody love it. So and that is the way it all started. And the turning peel, I start getting into making Neapolitan pizza. When my friends started making pizza, I got excited and I got a little oni,
Yeah.
and like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I start really liking the the particular pizza that I like.
Yeah.
And I start couldn't found the same kind of pizza in a lot of places. Um, Maybe I'm a little picky, but
Yeah.
I just like my pizza not soggy,
Yeah.
crispy, airy, and I love the sourdough tanginess in it. And
Hmm.
I like very simple food, highlight all the ingredients that you can taste them. And I have this perfect friend that he is very technically correct, in
Hmm.
executing almost anything from coffee to pizza to cupcakes, And I learned so much from him that and my life was in a point where I got laid off,
Hmm.
and in a business where I was in for 13 years, and I love that when I was doing it, but I'm almost get like, I want something exciting, I want something new to do,
Yeah.
and then the space is available to me, and like it's everything is like the universe is
Stars
like
align.
do it, do it, do it,
Yeah.
and I just like, okay, I'm going just gonna do it. So
Yeah.
and I have really good family that is they all agree to support me, my husband and my
Hmm.
two kids, they all say, Mama, you should do it. And yeah, then we just decided we test out in the farmers market first,
Hmm.
Okay.
in a very tiny farmers market that only have 12 vendor, one
Oh,
block.
wow.
It's the oldest farmers market. It's one of my favorite farmers market. It's called People's Co-op's Farmers Market.
Oh, cool.
They only have vegetarian, and they really encourage vegan. Um,
Hmm.
they open all year round. So we started out there. They welcome us, and I just love the community so much that everybody start really loving the pizza. So we start learning how to deal with the dough in winter, in summer,
Mm.
like in farmers market for like 6 hours, the dough outside, I have to start getting like electronic
Mhm.
blankets,
Yeah.
and ice, but I just love the connection with people. Like everybody
Hmm.
just love, like they give so much forgiveness when my pizza is not so good. And
Hmm.
I learn so much from everybody, and all the vendor, they all just so kind to me and teach me so many things. And especially customer.
Mhm.
Customer, uh, they just like one day, one of the customer brought her own vegan cheese and starting eating my pizza, and she come every single week and give
Yeah.
me her vegan cheese, and I start making them, and it's so delicious. And so then and then the other customer even went to the store, bought me a vegan parmesan, and I'm really picky, like if
Yeah.
something doesn't taste good, or substitutes that doesn't like well executed, I
Hmm.
really don't like to serve others people, even though if other people like it. But
Mhm.
that combination is just mind blowing, and I can't even like I loved it so much that. And since then I have been making like vegan pizza in the farmers market, and then more and more people come. We start selling from 30 pizza to 60 pizza,
Yeah.
uh,
Wow.
in the farmers market, and I was like, this could work, this could really work. So we start opening our brick and mortar.
That is awesome.
Wow.
The one thing I think about is because I've seen photos of your place, and you cannot help but notice that you have gone after a very specific vibe. Like it is so beautiful and inside and out. Can you share with us a little bit, because we're in an audio setting for these folks. So kind of describe what you were trying to create with your brick and mortar location.
So I would start my favorite place, which is the Oasis patio.
Uh-huh.
That is kind of also a little bit accidental. Like for me, again, always things that is not exactly really planned, but it's just accidentally happening. Um, my friend Colin has planted grapes, before, and this the restaurant itself is really small. It's only 100 square feet, and we only have like 30 seats inside. So, and I have no idea. I just felt like it's really small space if I want to do something and or has seat more people. I just felt like I need more seats, in case I need to seat more people. And so before we open, I told my husband, let's cover the side yard, and we should cover all the way so that we can put heaters.
Mhm.
So and he said yes. So I start, buying lumber, putting up the beams, and um pretty much the whole patio, we put it up, by ourselves. And
Oh,
I
wow.
like doors and windows. And I have always been like, we use stuff, keeping the environment friendly. And we have all these old doors from rebuilding centers, windows, and I'm not a green thumb person, by the way, but I saw this grapes that is coming out, and I was like, it was so pretty, and it create natural shade if I
Mhm.
wind them everywhere. So I start putting wire everywhere in the patio, and I
Yeah.
just like, take the leaves and wind them one by one. And all of a sudden, it became a greenhouse. I didn't realize. So in June, the grapes start like coming out three times more than last year, and
Oh,
come
wow.
2 months early. Like last year it was August, the grapes come. This year was June. And I was like, oh my God, this is like beautiful. It's so romantic. And so I also a sucker for like antiques lamps and chairs.
Yeah.
So my favorite lamps is Hurricane lamps and ice cream chairs. So I solely collect them, ice cream chair wherever I see on Craigslist or wherever I see, on Facebook. I would drive 2 hours to collect just two chairs. So I managed to collect, more than 30 ice cream chairs
Oh,
on
wow.
my patio, and all the hurricane lamp that I have collected, and I put them up, and it just all of a sudden become this magical place that everyone can enjoy it, and I just love it. Like people can chill there, they can enjoy, and I love to put toys. And if you see the pictures in our place, we use the Chinese napkins
Yeah.
that I cut into half. And I just because I really hate to have create so much trash in restaurant. Restaurant
Mhm.
normally has so much waste, and I grow up in a family where we don't have a lot. We don't have enough food. My mom really doesn't even like us to leave one rice on the bowl.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me that, if you have one rice on your bowl, your future husband is going to have one dot on the face. So we'll clean up really nicely, make sure that we'll marry a handsome husband. So I don't like to see waste. So we use reusable napkins and we wash them in house. And the only thing that we put is pizza box that
Mhm.
go out to the restaurant. So we are really, really proud that we have only one roll cart, the
Yeah.
week of
Mhm.
trash. We hardly have any food waste produced from the turning field. So yeah, I think I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
No, we
good.
like
No,
it.
this is good. This is how we learn about your business. I wanted to ask you about your location. You had mentioned early in the conversation, you said, the stars just kind of aligned, and you said the location was available to me or something to that effect. Had you had your eye on this location and it happened to come available, or did you decide to open a restaurant and you started looking around and you just found this random location that works for you, or how did you go about getting into the space that you are now in?
Okay, I'm going to be long story short. So okay. So the location, so the story back in 5 years ago. And we partner with four others people to
Hmm.
open a restaurants. But
Hmm.
that time I have my full-time jobs, my husband full-time job. We just love the chef. Her food is like really beautiful, really amazing. So we just save up enough money and come to her and say, hey, would you like to open a restaurant? So um, okay, fast forward, long story short. So we look for a house. So she has this dream of a house. So
Hmm.
we found the location, which is residential house, like a Portland craftsman home.
Hmm.
And that house in the basement, people were growing pot. And no one wanted to buy the house, and it was really cheap on the market. So that time, we decided, okay, it's commercially sold. Why don't we turn it into a restaurant? So we got it. We spent 2.5 years, basically all five of us, with and a lot of volunteers, basically handmade many things. Like if you walk into the restaurant, almost anything you see is handmade.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
we like from wallpaper to tiles to all the chairs. Like I drive, hours and hours, collect all the antique chairs, learn how to reupholster them because they're very expensive. We can't afford it.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I reupholster all of them. I put up all the wallpaper. Basically, we spent 2.5 years basically decor the whole place. And that was Malka. And unfortunately, we opened during the pandemic. We literally
Yeah.
opened, and 1 week later, we soft opened. The city shut down restaurants,
Ouch.
and
Mm.
we were doing like takeout. And so, long story short, it was working and not working, and the labor is really intensive. And my husband and I at that time were only helping to build the space,
Hmm.
but we were not running the restaurant day to day
Yeah.
because we have our own daytime job. That was the arrangement. But then in February, our partner told us that it just is really not working. It's too labor
Mm.
intensive, and we are barely making money. And so they decided to close the restaurants, and we respect that. And
Mhm.
so yeah, the space became available, and I tried to rent it out, but lots of restaurant, they want to create their own space, they want to tear down all the wallpaper, and we done the whole thing, and my heart and soul just telling myself I can't do it. I just spent too much like heart in it, and I was just not ready. I think one day I'm
Yeah.
ready, but just not that time. And so, and then we were already at the farmers market. um I that time I actually bought a vintage trailer. I
Hmm.
Mhm.
was planning to do the pizza in a food cart.
Yeah.
But then it was like, okay, food cart, and then the space I can't rent it out, or I'm not willing to rent it out. And I was just very scared because I've never opened a restaurant before, and
Hmm.
I don't know how to do it. And but at that time my heart just, I don't know, it's just like one of those things, just tell me that you should go for it. And my life is always like this, it's like even like I have so many stories. I don't know. Like even
Yeah.
when I come to the US, it's like the same thing. Like, and it's like what you have to lose.
Yeah.
If you failed, you go back to nothing. Like, and why not trying? And I'm
Yeah.
already really lucky and grateful I have all this opportunity, that I can
Yeah.
try. So then I asked my family, which is, they vote yes. So that was, yeah,
That's
that was fun.
awesome. I love that. So let's talk about your pizza. And I know Jeremy really needs to know about your sourdough. Where would it come from? What is your sourdough? Tell us about how your sourdough works. Does it live at the restaurant? Does it live at your house? Like, tell us all about the sourdough.
So our sourdough name is Bao Bao.
Nice.
And I started the sourdough myself.
Hmm.
And I'm one of those people that I have to understand everything, like just
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally down to the dots, and I couldn't operate and I couldn't function. So I want to learn how to start a sourdough. So I start 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, I think. I started Bao Bao and I learned on the web, just like everybody else.
Hmm.
And then slowly baking bread, and the bread starting really dense and like, it just doesn't look anything like the store-bought or people post a beautiful picture. So
Hmm.
I started learning, fermentation, start reading a lot of books, learning a lot from Instagram, TikToks, and and everybody has different theory.
Yeah, they do.
The place, and some people will say this, some people will say that, and it's just really hard to navigate. And I decided to start my own experiment, because if I don't understand, I can't make the dough.
Hmm.
So what I did is that I'm a very logical person. So I make these giant big tables, and each batch of flours, I will write down all the numbers, how many hours I ferment, how much, what is the temperature, how much I need, and then there's pre-fermentation, post-fermentation, boiling, and then I will do an experiment that will go through, like, if I do 3 hours of that, 4 hours of that, 2 hours of that, like I will basically scan the entire solution space. And so after, I think, thousands of pounds of flowers,
Hmm.
and that time I thought I found the one.
Yeah.
And then I start making that pizza that I like. But then I think after that, I evolved 3, 4 more times now.
Yeah. It's a constant evolution, I feel like, with
Yeah.
pizza. I feel like a lot of people,
Right.
especially when you're dealing with a sourdough artisan style crust, it's always an evolution.
And I learned that Baba really has her own mood, like sometimes
Hmm.
she's happy, sometimes she's a little bit not, and she follow me wherever I go. And so she sometimes live in, if I come to the turning point every day, which mostly every day, then I stay home,
Hmm.
and then I close on Sunday because of my kid. I want to spend, at least one day a week with my
Yeah.
kid. So Baba come with me Saturday night to home. And yeah, when I want to travel, for short, it will live in the refrigerator. Otherwise, Baba travel with me too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Nice.
Your pizza has been recognized
Yeah.
pretty well.
I,
I've noticed that. So and a lot of people are talking about your combinations and how you're pairing your pizza. So let me ask this as a final question, because I know we've been on here for a while with you, but what goes into your pizzas when you're really trying to come up with those combinations and those pairings?
so I guess you're asking about the special,
Yeah,
so it is,
yeah.
yeah. So it's always like, seasonal produce.
Hmm.
So I whatever I see, I always like to eat fruit or veggie when they're in season.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you can go to buy something all year round, but I
Hmm.
always felt like corn tastes better when it's in peak season.
Hmm.
Peach tastes sweeter when they are in season.
Mhm.
So, and it's always more affordable to buy them. Um,
Yeah.
so I always pick the seasonal produce, and then I will start thinking what I can, go in it. But one big rule of thumb I have is, my husband.
Yeah.
He is a very, very picky eater. And in some way, he's very traditional. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
like any surprise. He doesn't like anything out of ordinary. He is an amazing cook. He will never let me to put a curry pizza, on the menu, or not yet. But I'm an adventure person. I like all kind of things in the pizza, you know. But
Yeah.
we have agreement that, you know, if we both have to say yes to put it on the menu. And so that is where, you know, the adventure always start. You know, I like, so our biggest hit is our peach serrano pizza. And
Hmm.
I love to put fruit on pizza, and he hate to put fruit on the pizza. But he likes spice. So, and once I make the peach serrano and then he tried one bite, he was like blow his mind with the basil flavor, with the serrano, with everything that he can taste. He's like, okay, then we put it on the menu. So that's
Yeah.
how we always, you know, create our pizza. And we have, it's more like my customer is, it drives me, you know, like I
Yeah.
have a customer who come every week just for the special. So it motivates me that I have to put a new pizza on the menu every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of like, you know, how we and I always like to balance out. I want always want to make sure that my special pizza has a vegetarian version and has a vegan
Hmm.
version,
Yeah.
so that everybody come, they can, you know, choose the one that they like.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Well, we wish you the best with the restaurant. We can't wait to continue watching your progress there in Portland and keep us posted because we definitely want to share your story as you go along.
Definitely. I'm so excited and really happy you included us today.
All right. Well,
Thank you
take
so
care
much
and
for your
we'll
time.
have a good rest of your morning.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.